What is up, everybody? Sorry I've been away for a little bit here. I know I haven't been putting out as much videos. I've had quite a bit going on the personal side, good things for the most part. And then next week we're going out of town, so had a lot to plan for there. But I wanted to make a video today to discuss the situation that came up and the accusations that are being made against AVA Labs, who is the team behind Avalanche, and the Avalanche, I guess, ecosystem itself. So really, it's all against the team of Avalanche. Now, I've done the beginning of this video a few times now, and I keep restarting it because I want to present this in a way for you guys to sort of make your own decision up based on the information here. And then at the very end, I'll sum up my feelings on things. So again, I really just want to start this by presenting the information as we know it, the pertinent information, and then letting you guys kind of make your mind up there, and then we'll roll into, again, my thoughts on everything at the very end of the video. So, to start, and for those of you who aren't aware, a link was shared by CZ, the CEO of Binance, on Twitter. Now, it has since been deleted. However, that is where it got its fuel for the fire, I guess. So when CZ shared it, it went viral across Twitter. Everyone started talking about it. A few hours after that, CZ deleted it. Now, I don't know why he deleted it, but in his original post, he said, don't know if this is true or not, but Binance is a listed member of the attack, and, you know, if this is true, then oh my goodness, basically, as in summary, what he said. And then he posted a link to this article. Now, the article is on a website called Crypto Leaks, which only has 3 other stories. So I went to Crypto Leaks just to see what other stuff they had going on here, and there's only 2 other, they call them cases, on here. One is labeled, we'll read through the titles of them, were attacks on ICP initiated by a master attack, multi-billion-dollar price manipulation on FTX. The next one is how the New York Times promoted a corrupt attack on ICP by Arkham Intelligence. When I read through these articles, they feel very similar in tone to the one that was claimed against AVA Labs, which I will read now. It says, AVA Labs, Avalanche, attack Solana and cons SEC, an evil conspiracy with bought law firm Roche Friedman. So we're going to click on that because, again, this is what has fueled the fire and where the accusations stemmed from. It starts off, it's really long, so I'm not going to read through the entire thing. I will link it down below, so if you want to, pause the video, read through the article. I'm going to cover some snippets here in this video, but there's also video clips that are associated with this article that you might want to watch that we're not going to watch here. So, again, guys, that's going to be down below. Feel free to pause the video, read through that, and then start back at this point. Now, for those of you hanging around who just want the sort of summary of things, they're claiming that AVA Labs bought Roche Friedman, or not bought, but we're paying Roche Friedman, which is a real law firm. I looked up the filings. They're a New York law firm. They do have an LLP filing, and this guy, who most of this is focused on, Kyle Roche, is a founding partner of Roche Friedman, and they're claiming that he's the one that was sort of doing this corrupt stuff for AVA Labs, which I'm going to get into what those corrupt things were. But again, just wanted to preface that this is a real law firm, this is a real guy, he's a real lawyer, and the claims are that they were paying this guy or the whole firm really, in Avalanche tokens, AVAX, to do unethical things such as suing other companies just so they could get privy to information. So the claim is that AVA Labs was telling this law firm to target other crypto projects like Solana and you know, all these other chains and projects, so that when they sued them, they would get access to information, and then they could then use that information to help position themselves in the market, I guess, or for Avalanche to sort of steal ideas or things like that, that they had really no intention of winning the lawsuit. So that is the claim that was being made in this article. Now, it's a very long article, and it talks about a lot of what they claim the associations are between Roche Friedman and AVA Labs, and then they put some videos in here of Kyle Roche, who again is one of the founding partners and is the one that they're saying was the affiliate in this whole thing. There's multiple videos. Again, we're not going to watch through all of them. He basically talks about his deal with Ava Labs and stuff like that. But there's not really anything presented in these videos that I would say is factually based, okay? There's no, like, massive legal filings or, you know, bank statements or things like that that prove all of this stuff. It's really just him talking and someone behind the camera who we don't know who it is. Now, they claim it's a part of the Roche Friedman firm, who's a guy who's behind the camera interviewing Kyle Roche. But again, there's no proof of that, so we don't know with 100% certainty that that is who is behind the scenes here. Now, there are some legal things that are links in this article. Now, I've read through them, so some is like the Solana case. There's a couple tweets from Amin marked in here, but none of them, I would say, are definitive item. Like, it's nothing factually based. Like when 3AC went under, we had legal filings that they were going under, right? We had a money trail of where things were going. We had that sort of documentation to back those findings. In this case, there's nothing really there that's substantial, at least in my mind. There's nothing really that I saw that was like, oh, that truly links them. And the claim that they're moving, you know, giving them AVAX tokens to do these sorts of things, you would think that there would be messages, right? You would think that there would be like text messages or bank statements or something like that linking them. But none of those are in this article. Now, does that mean they don't exist? No, it does not. They could very much exist. But they're not here at the moment. All right, so moving on from this article, which again, I would recommend you guys do look through just so you can get a well-rounded understanding of what is happening here. When we move on from this, there was, again, this article was shared for a while and everyone was speculating and throwing it around going, oh my gosh, AVA Labs is crazy corrupt. Then we got a statement, Kyle Roche, that we are going to read first after this article, which again, I recommend you guys read the original article on Crypto Leaks just so that you get a well-rounded understanding of the accusations themselves as well as the videos. And then this response by Kyle Roche we got today. So August 29th, Kyle Roche, again, he is the lawyer that they were claiming was doing all of these mischievous things for AVA Labs. His response: a posting on the recently launched anonymous Crypto Leaks website about me, my firm, AVA Labs, contains numerous unsourced false statements and illegally obtained, highly edited video clips that are not presented with accurate context. These videos were recorded without my consent during private meeting with Christian Ager Hansen, whom I now know works for Dominic Williams, the creator of ICP token, and the defendant in a high-profile security fraud litigation my firm brought against him. Mr. Ager Hansen requested a meeting with me under false pretense of venture capital investment in a technology startup, but his real motives are now clear: to deceive and entrap me. When I agreed to the meeting, I was unaware that Mr. Ager Hansen specialized in what he calls conflict management for eccentric billionaires like Mr. Williams, where he uses illegal and underhanded means, including covert recordings and social engineering, to solve their legal issues. Then he links to the Telegraph story, which I'll link this article below, so if you guys want to read these next two pieces, you can. We're going to go to the next part of his statement. It says, my firm has represented AVA Labs since 2019. Contrary to what is presented in the recent unsourced postings by Crypto Leaks, there is not and never has been a quote-unquote secret pact between my firm and AVA Labs. We vigorously deny all allegations of impropriety. Our work with AVA Labs is focused on defense-side cases typical of any large corporation. AVA Labs has had no input, control, or insight into any of our firm's plaintiff-side class action cases, and we have never filed a class action on their behalf or at their request. Statements in this video to the contrary are false and were obtained through deceptive means, including a deliberate scheme to intoxicate and then exploit me using leading questions. The statements are highly edited and spliced out of context. What the posting fails to note is that our firm plaintiff side practice has remained a source of disagreement in our relationship with AVA Labs, and they have criticized our pursuit of many such cases. In all of my dealings with Amin Gunsier and the rest of AVA Labs team, they have always acted with the highest integrity. They have never asked that I do anything underhanded, illegal, or of questionable ethics, and I never would. Mr. Agar Hansen and Mr. Williams' brazen attempts to intimidate me, my firm, in the class that we represent, will not work. We'll remain resolute in defending ourselves, their underhanded, false, deceptive tactics against us. Okay, so that was Kyle Roche's response. Soon after, we got a response from Emin that we are also going to read. It's a little bit shorter, so it shouldn't be that bad. It says, my statement about the crypto leaks lies. Ordinarily, we would not make a statement about a screwless hit piece on disreputable websites like Crypto Leaks to dignify such an obvious fraud on us with a response usually makes no sense. Everybody should be able to see right through it. I am disheartened to see people in the crypto space pay attention to such obvious nonsense. These claims evidently came about when Kyle Roche, a lawyer at a firm we retained in the early days of our company, tried to impress a potential business partner by making false claims about the nature of his work for AVA Labs. Let me tell you the truth about the lies that stood out the most to me. The allegations on this site are categorically false. AVA Labs believes in transparency and facing the world head-on, not through behind-the-scenes dealings or activity. Neither I nor anyone else at AVA Labs ever directed Roche in this selection of cases. We do not receive materials or information from him, and we do not entrust our legal affairs to him. Roche himself confirmed this in a public statement, which we just read. He has only represented AVA Labs in a defense capacity in a couple run-of-the-mill corporate contract disputes and myself in a libel case. His firm is one of the more than a dozen law firms we employ for matters relating to tax, corporate, regulatory, and human resources. Roche has filed all lawsuits independently of us. For instance, we learned about the Solana lawsuit only through the press. We were livid that he was suing another project and attempted to persuade him to drop the case. AVA Labs general counsel went the extra mile to write an article debunking Roche's lawsuit as meritless. And that article is called Oranges Are Not Securities and Neither Is Sol. So what Emin is saying here is they actually wrote this article defending Solana when these cases arose, which, again, in the original claim, they stated that Avalanche was using this to attack Solana and other projects, whereas Emin is saying actually not. They're saying that Kyle Roche, they were suing Solana, and he even persuaded them to drop that case and then wrote an article about why Solana is not a security. So he's saying that he actually defended Solana. He didn't try to attack him. Roche is not responsible for regulatory matters for AVA Labs. We independently have good relationships with the regulatory community, with policymakers, and with law enforcement. We hold ourselves to high standards and believe they recognize that. Roche is not on our executive team, and we do not look to him for advice outside of the few small matters where he used to represent us. He has no say in our business decisions, legal decisions, how the company is run, or to do with the Avalanche protocol. He has handled only a few cases of minor importance to us in his area of competence. Let me be absolutely clear. We do not engage in or support any underhanded tactics suggested in the article or the video clips. We believe in what we are building and do not need secret pacts or behind-the-scenes intrigue. It is telling that the allegations surfaced on a disreputable website as the third article in the series, where the first article alleges a grand conspiracy by the New York Times against crypto projects, and the second alleges a multi-billion-dollar price-fixing scheme by FTX against the same project's tokens. We will carry on building and otherwise working hard for the blockchain community. We encourage everyone to put aside pettiness, personal attacks, fraudulent lies. Let's keep building together. Sincerely, Emin Gunsier. So what do we have here? So again, we've got the claims that came out that they were using their legal team in a very mischievous way. And Amin is denying all of it and saying that really the videos themselves, okay, so we've got the article, right, which we know you can debunk an article, but there's also videos of Kyle, right? There's videos of Kyle saying things like what the claims are saying. And so what Kyle is saying is that he was drunk at the time, and that, you know, they were just trying to manipulate him, and that the guy that he was meeting with, he was supposed to be meeting with about, you know, a VC investment, when it turned out to be some underhanded thing that they were trying to do to make these claims against Avalanche, and they believe that it's even a guy associated with ICP, which, for those of you who don't know, that's Internet Computer, which is a project that had some really big issues during the last cycle. And so he's claiming that this guy works for them, and that this whole news network was developed by ICP, and that it's really just a hit piece. Amin pretty much backs this up and says, like, look, we're not doing anything like this. We have very little association with this Kyle Roche guy, in that they've used him a few times for a couple little things, but they've never asked him to do a pact or anything like that. And that, you know, they're denying all these allegations, and just saying that basically this is a blatant lie, that they're coming out of here for attention, and that's really what this is all about. Now, that's the information that has been presented. So I will let you guys make your decision there. If you don't care about what my thoughts are, you can stop the video now, read these articles for yourselves, and come up with your decision. I would say that this is the most grounded piece of information that we have. These three, these are really the only big pieces that we have for either side. The rest is sort of just hearsay and people throwing some stuff around. There is one last thing, and that is, CryptoLeaks has a Twitter account, so you can go to their Twitter account. It's not very big. It's got about 6,300 followers, but they posted a picture of the AVA Labs token distribution for Kyle Roche's firm. So it does look like that is a thing. So that you can go there, you can, again, see this agreement to how those tokens will be distributed. Okay, now that all that information is laid out, my 2 cents on things. Starting with this screenshot that we just put up discussing the tokens. It seems very likely that AVA Labs would be willing to give tokens to its legal team. Okay, so to me, this is not incriminating evidence. Okay, it does not say that these tokens were given to them to do these illegal activities or these unethical activities. It's just saying that they got some tokens, which I wouldn't, like, lots of projects pay people in tokens. So I do not see that as an issue. I don't think this really proves anything. So I'm not even really concerned with that. My next thought is that these claims on the original post, when we go to the CryptoLeaks posts, for one, I don't know what CryptoLeaks is. I've never heard of this website, and they only have 3 pieces. This is the 3rd since it's starting. And they're far, far apart, months apart, and they're clearly pushing an agenda, right? The first 2 were in defense of ICP, and then now all of a sudden we've got somehow ICP involved again. This guy is connected to ICP, and it's a hit piece against AVA Labs. So to me right there, that's kind of a red flag. Now, when you go through this article, the information presented is very loose information. I would say none of it is like when you look at 3AC and what happened with them, when they blew up, we had legal filings, bank statements, like all these sorts of things that could back up the claims that were being made. I don't see that here, okay? In this video, or excuse me, in this article, there's lots of videos of this Kyle guy who I've never heard of. He is a real lawyer. Again, I looked up their firm. They do exist. But basically what Amin was saying is that this guy looks like he was trying to impress somebody to win a new account for his law firm, which sounds highly plausible to me, right? Like he's maybe trying to seem like he's the big guy and willing to do some stuff if needed. But really that's just like almost like a sales pitch, like he's trying to win their trust so that they start an account with his firm or get them retained. I'm not sure if that's the case, but I could understand how that was happening. Now, again, we have a bunch of videos of this Kyle guy and someone behind the camera, and we don't know who's behind the camera, okay? They claim that it's someone at the firm, Kyle Roche's firm, that's behind the camera, but we don't know that. There's no proof of that. And all these videos are a bunch of videos of this Kyle guy. None of them none of anyone at AVA Labs, none of anything else. There's no information presented in these videos that is like, again, like a bank statement, text messages, emails. You would think they would have some sort of correspondence in here. if he was really making these claims, which they don't. So there's none of that in here. And then there's a couple links to like the Solana class action lawsuit, but that has nothing to do with, it doesn't connect to Ava Labs. It just shows the lawsuit that Roche firm filed against Solana, which we already know happened. But again, there's no connection drawn to Ava Labs in there other than the hearsay or the verbiage that they used of the fact that maybe they're associated with Ava Labs. But as Amin said, they actually, he came out and he said that, look, we actually tried to defend and get them to drop the case against Solana, which happened. And then they wrote an article called "Oranges Are Not Securities and Neither Are Sol." And this came out in July 12th of 2022. So it wasn't like he said this and then this article was written a couple days ago. Okay, this actually is an article that was wrote July 12th, 2022 on Crowdfund Insider. Now, to be fair, I don't know what Crowdfund Insider is either, so I don't know what this site is. It could be anyone's site. So, but the article does exist. Again, I don't know what the connection is here to Ava Labs, but again, Amin claims that they had wrote this in attempts to defend Solana. We have seen Amin defend Solana in the past as well, with tweets, and especially when the whole wallet thing happened on Solana, he came out and said, like, look, this isn't good for anybody. If there's anything we can do to help, we'll help you out. But I understand. Look, if you're a bullshitter, you'll go out on Twitter, you'll say something publicly and then do something behind the scenes that's totally different than what you said publicly. Smoke and mirrors, right? So I get that that could be the case here. A couple things that really kind of were like, made me distrust this article were, one of the big claims in the article was that Kyle Roche was a roommate of Kevin Sicknicky, who is a major player and a big part of the Ava Labs team. He claims that they were roommates when Kevin actually lives with his mom and has no roommates. So that right there was a blatant lie, and I'm not sure even where that came up from. Kevin isn't, it's not like these guys are best friends. It's not like Kyle Roche and Kevin hang out all the time and, oh, we're roommates now. Like, that just never happened. It seems like literally just a blatant lie that they pulled out. So to me, that goes, okay, well, if they're making unprecedented lies like that really aren't, like they're saying that's how this whole thing stemmed, what else in here is a lie? What else in here was stitched information? And so I'm just very skeptical of these claims. Now, again, if it's true, then that's terrible. But I just do not see this as being true. And actually, I'm a little bit frustrated with the fact that CZ shared this without discussing it with the Ava Labs team or going about it in a professional manner to try to make sure it was true before he shared this information. To me, that's professional courtesy, right? If you're a big player in the crypto space, a huge mind that people look to, and you're going to share crypto links, and claim that Ava Labs is so corrupt and that you don't know for sure, but here it is, guys. That's what he did, and to me, that's wrong. Like, if you're the CEO of Binance, you should know that this information is correct or have a really good foundation to why you think it's correct, which he didn't have, and that's clear because he deleted his tweet a few hours later. On top of that, I mean, we're talking about CZ, who also just a few months ago was claiming that Uniswap was hacked and it never was hacked. So there's a lot of stuff that's just kind of upset me about CZ. The fact that he's not doing his homework before he goes and tweets this stuff out. Because again, it pushes a false narrative. And even, if this isn't true, Ava Labs is going to have a lot to clean up now, right? Like they've got a lot of publicity stuff that they've got to figure out, and they've got to try to squash this article and prove it to be wrong, when if it really is wrong, then again we're sort of entering this space where it's like guilty before proving innocent, and that's what crypto Twitter, and that's what's been disappointing for me to see about crypto Twitter, is that a lot of people are jumping on the bandwagon without any other definitive proof. I mean, this is literally it. This article we have is literally all we have that gives any evidence of this such relationship existing. Everything else we have, like, there's nothing there. So I just really don't see this as being true. To me, it seems like, again, a hit piece. It seems like an attention grab. We have a young guy who's a partner at a law firm who wants to be a hot shot, and so he's trying to impress somebody, and that somebody that he was trying to impress ended up being a manipulator who was there to write an article about him. So I see that as the likely case of what is going on here. Again, from everything that I've gathered from anyone who has dealt with the Ava Labs team, they all say that they believe that Ava Labs is, like, again, of utmost integrity, and that they would never do something like this. And so I don't know. I'm just not buying it. I'm just not buying it. But again, that's my 2 cents, guys. You're obviously do your own research, really dig in to understand, and then make your opinion on where you stand. I think if everybody did that, again, you're entitled to believe what you want to believe, but do your homework before you start pushing narratives. And you know, really try to get an understanding of what the claims are and how that would even work. Because again, it's really sad to see that CZ put something out and then we got 50 other influencers on Twitter sharing it, really for engagement farming is what it feels like. And then later deleting the tweets because they realize, oh, maybe this isn't true. Like, you know, it's important that we do our homework because this gets everyone in trouble, right? Like, let's pretend this is true. Now we're already under regulatory scrutiny, and now this would just make it that much worse. So anyways, guys, wanted to bring that up to you guys, give you my 2 cents on the situation. If this is your first video, please like and subscribe to the channel. If you got some stuff you want to add that maybe I missed in this video, definitely drop it down in the comments section. With that being said, guys, I will see you next time.